Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where we will go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversations where we will explore hot topics on love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all that shit in between. With our insights and your actions, let's be unstoppable together. Let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Art of Being Unstoppable. And today I have a heartfelt, unstoppable story about my daughter, Vicki. Yesterday was like nothing I had experienced in my life. So let me back up a little bit, you guys.
Yeah, and you know what, T, I want to put a little bit of we were just talking about things before we jumped on here, and you know, when things happen in our lives that are, because things happen in everybody's lives every day. But when things happen like this particular thing that we're going to talk about today, it kind of puts a fire under our ass too, because we see what's possible when we know that we have the worth. So you start to share, T, about what really, how this all started.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the summer. My daughter was invited on a boat. I'm going to use the word boat very loosely here. It was a yacht, basically. And she was with a boy that she was seeing, and she's on this yacht. And she had this realization, wow, I want this life. I want a yacht. I want to experience really fine things in life. So we got to talking, and she said, you know, Mom, most of my friends, when they're talking about university and school and what they want to do, they're talking about going to nursing school and being teachers and jobs that are really rewarding and really fulfilling. And she said, but that's not the life that I want. And I said, really? Well, what is the life that you want? She said, I want a job, a career that has me traveling the world. I want to be on a yacht in the Mediterranean. I want to fly on personal jets. I want to be in stadiums and on TV. I was like, my first thought in my head, I did not say this out loud, but I'm like, really? Aren't you a little bit crazy talking right now? But I listened, and she had this burning desire. She said, so what job can I do that's going to afford me that? I'm like, I don't know. Well, then a couple weeks later, she came to me. She said, Mom, I know. She said, I want to be a sports journalist. I want to be that broadcaster that's in the locker room with the winning teams. I want to be able to interview sports people. I want to be on television. I want to be in. So she had this dream. So I said, okay, girl. So she said, I'm going to research the best school, the best opportunities. And she found that Toronto Metropolitan University, which is the old Ryerson University, has the best sports media program in the country. So she also found out that it's extremely competitive. They only accept 75 people a year, and it's based on grades only. No application, no credibility, no your mom or dad can get you in. No, it's based on grades. So last weekend we went to the tour, and she walked in, and you should have saw this kid's eyes light up. And she looked at me and she said, Mom, I'm home. I am home. This is where I'm meant to be. And just that feeling, but then she heard other people saying it's very competitive.
Yep.
Make sure you apply to other programs. Don't put all your eggs in this basket because there's only 75 people. There's about 1,000 that apply. So she was talking to the professors. One woman that she was talking to at TMU produces the Olympics. Okay. This woman, super badass. So anyways, Mackie is talking to her. She's sharing, she's asking questions. So fast forward to Sunday, yesterday, whenever you're listening to this podcast, Mackie and I are traveling to University of Western in London because we were looking at, they have another media program there. So we're going to tour the campus. Yeah. We're 30 kilometers away, and Mackie has her laptop and she's doing her schoolwork, and she goes, oh my God. She grabs me, and I'm like, wait, what? She's like, oh my God. And then the ugly tears started. Like, oh my God. Like if you guys are watching this, like, that ugly, like, oh my God. I'm like, what? What? I didn't know if I should pull over. I didn't know who somebody died. So I'm like, what happened? She's like, I got accepted into all 3 programs at TMU. I'm like, what? You just applied 8 days ago. I said, like, I asked, are you sure? I said, applications aren't due until January. Are you sure it wasn't like, hey, we received you? She's like, no, look, acceptance. It says, will you accept or decline? I'm like, oh my God. Now we're both crying, right?
Yes.
And it it really triggered something in me. And I thought, this is a girl who has a dream, has a vision. She doesn't have guardrails up on what she wants.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the life experiences of the world shutting her down, things not working. All she sees is a path to possibilities. And in her mind, she was unstoppable. There's nothing that's going to stop me. If
Yep.
I can't get into this program, I'm going to get into this program. I'm going to network. She had it all mapped out. And it got me thinking about my guardrails, my life experiences, maybe your life experiences. Like, how many times do we want something? Because I'm in the middle of launching something that I think is big, but I hear in my head, it's not going to work. People aren't going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't a demand. All the noise that I've been hearing for the last 7 years, all of my failed launches, all of my mistakes are flooding my paths to possibility. She doesn't have that.
And, you know, when you say that, okay, absolutely, she doesn't have that because, yes, sometimes don't get a 99% on the test and she's disappointed that she only got a 92. And I get that because that's a huge deal for her because she sets herself up for success in everything she does. Right. But also, I have to say that as a parent of 4 children and my grandchildren, I can see their possibility. You can see your children's possibility, but you've also told them, and I was the same with my children, I don't care what you do as long as it brings you the most joy and you get to do what you love to do. Because when we work and we're doing something we love, even in these 7 years, Tina, that you haven't, you've had success, you've had fail, you've had success, you've had fail. We all do that. That is life. But the difference is that her failures gave her momentum to make more success because that's how
Mhm.
you have shown them. You lead by example. And I think that that's where we forget because we're so busy creating our lives I mean, I'm a little bit older than you and I built a career. That's what I did. It was all focused on building that career. So I did everything that I could do to build that career. No matter what got in my way, I still went through it and got there. But now I look at my life and I'm a totally different person in the last 4 years. I've changed so much and I'm scared shitless about what I'm going to create because what if people don't want it? What if people don't? Again, the guardrails are up because I have self
Mm,
doubt
mm,
because I've been turned down before. I've lost, I've gained, I've made those mistakes. And that can either create a filter or that can create more momentum. And if we can live in Mackie's possibility, if that can be something that we take away from this, because when she called me yesterday to tell me she got in, I cried. I was so excited because I know this is her dream. And she's made it happen because she chose that, right?
yes. Yeah, and it's 2 things really are showing up too, is the fact that you said, "I cried, I was so excited." My mom cried, she was so excited. My sister cried, she was so excited. Uh, we're excited for her because she's chasing her dreams. Then I think about entrepreneurship. How many of the people in our lives are that excited for us? Oh my gosh, you launched your product and it did really well. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud. Like, we don't get the same kind of as adults, I feel. Like, I'm waiting. I think most of my life I was waiting for the, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. And I realized, and I had this conversation with a friend yesterday. When we take on, whether it's something like a new career or entrepreneurship or a new relationship, we might be waiting for other people to give us that validation, to give
Hmm.
us the pat on the back, to be
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
We got to be our own cheerleaders, because when we can be our own cheerleaders, it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter if they're cheering on the
Mm-mm.
sidelines. And one thing that I realize it is, it really does take a special friend to be in your corner through the thick and the thin and the highs and the lows. And a lot of people secretly want you to fail as adults because it shines a light on where they held back.
Yes.
And so it was probably easy for, I've seen parents get jealous of their kids and think, oh man, that could have been my life. Why didn't I do that? But there wasn't any of that, me. I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus. I raised a kid who's independent." Okay, because I've learned to be my own cheerleader, because I've waited for that and never got that. And I know that that feeling sometimes is a little disheartening. Why, when I put something out to the world, do people not like? They don't share, they don't support. And I used to get really down on myself about that. And now, instead of, like you said, instead of putting the filters up, it's use it as momentum, use it as motivation.
Yeah.
It's okay. Who do you get to be when the world isn't cheering you on? When the
Exactly.
world is secretly, maybe a little jealous of you showing up. But it's not about you. It's not, whatever shows up for people is what shows up for people.
Yeah.
And even with Mackie, there's the same situation. A friend was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna party, we're gonna have a celebration. I'm so happy." And then another friend said, "Wow, I'm really happy for you, but how did that happen? It's only been 8 days." Da 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 da. Two same situations,
Yeah.
two don't totally different reactions,
Well,
but
I mean,
that is life
it is
too,
life.
showing up.
And that is the truth. That is life. And I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to, I mean, okay. When I started on this career path of coaching, it honestly felt like the next step in my life to be able to support women and help women and be a voice for those who didn't feel they had a voice, to really let them be. And everyone that I have worked with, I get a very similar response with people is, I hear your voice when I'm going through something. I hear your voice saying, you got this. You have the power.
Mm,
You have the
mm,
worth, because I see it. And I'm your biggest cheerleader. Like, that. Like, oh my goodness, right? And as are you for me. And it isn't about taking something away from somebody else in our life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I cheer for you and you cheer for me without any judgment, without anything. It doesn't shine a light on me if you're doing good and I'm not there yet. It doesn't shine a light on you if I'm doing good and you're not there yet. Because I look at it as, we're not one without the other. We get to create things, and the people in our lives that support and love us help us get there. It's a team effort. Your daughter is getting where she wants to be because it's a team effort. You've created
yeah,
that
yeah.
team for her. I'm no different than with my children. I don't care what, and I used to say it. You can shovel shit for your lifetime. I don't care if it makes you happy and it brings you joy. And I look at my youngest son, and he's in equestrian, and he shovels shit for a life. You know what I mean? Like, and he really
Yeah.
does, but he is so happy. He works hard. He got here last night at 8 o'clock. He'd been up since 5, worked all day, drove 3.5 hours home, but got to see us. And, his life is progressing and changing, but he's going places that he always dreamed of because that's what his dream was. His dream wasn't
Mhm.
to work for someone. His dream was to be what he chose to be. And
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
get to encourage those people in our lives to do the same. I want everyone in my life that I touch to be their best version of themselves because I see it in them. I see their possibility. So without guardrails. And that is the truth.
Mhm.
It was one of my longest time girlfriend's birthday on the weekend, and we went. And when I went shopping for her, I thought about what can I get her that's just for her, that will bring light and love to her, right? And I got her a really beautiful crystal necklace. I got her, some things just for her, and I got her a really cool pair of socks that were kind of funky. But they all were about her. I thought about her and who this next year can be for her, the possibilities that this year can bring for her. That's where I want to be in my life. I want to look at you and say, Tina, I see the possibility. I see it with you. I'm standing beside you, cheering you on. I want to be your cheerleader because I don't think now controversial, and we do bring this up in other episodes about social media and how we're all keeping up with the Joneses and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, when I watch things on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram and I see someone standing there and telling the world how they feel because it's how they feel, good for you. Good on you. Because you're standing in
Mhm.
your power and you get to show your worth no matter what anybody else says. And that fear is there because we all have it. Someone's going to say shit, someone's going to throw shade, but who cares? Again, is that because of the lack that they have, or is that out of jealousy or whatever? But it doesn't matter because we get to choose. And your
Mhm.
daughter chose this and she's going for it. Not a bone in her
Yeah.
body had any reservations. No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
It was so interesting because I was so proud and I was so excited that I posted on social media. And this is the power of sharing that I want to share with people because when we are up to things, some people will think, "Oh, well, you're just bragging." Some people will think, "Oh my gosh, this is really great." So, whatever people think is their business. It's
That's
not
right.
mine. But this is the power in sharing. So I was proud mama. I'm sharing. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is." And this guy who follows me on social media said, I went to school with so and so and so and so, whose daughter is now a sports broadcaster for the Detroit Red Wings and the Tigers. And, I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, this is her name." So I looked her up, I followed her on social media, I sent her a personal message, I said, "Hey, my daughter just got accepted into TMU for sports broadcasting. Any, advice
Yeah,
to a newbie?" And I just sent it, so I don't know if she replied back yet, but this is the power too, connection. You never know who knows somebody, and I shared that with my daughter, and there's pictures on her social media of her behind the desk, her on jets. Literally, the life that my daughter wants, this woman is living that life. And so I shared it with her to say, if it's possible for her, it's possible for you too. I said, take this picture, put your face on there, and look at that every day. Visualize that it's already happening because if it's to
yes,
be, it's meant to be. If it's meant to be, it will always be.
absolutely.
And she's this is so cool. But in my sharing, that opportunity came up. And we don't know what
No,
opportunities might come up. And so, but when you have self-worth, when you believe in yourself and you no longer need validation or you no longer need um, permission, a real permit to serve your mission. I don't need permission to share. I don't care if nobody listens. I don't do it for that. If nobody comments, nobody likes,
yep,
I shared because it might give somebody, one person,
mhm,
inspiration
yep,
or say, wow, I'm going to share this story with my daughter so she can feel encouraged. I don't know what it is, but every day we get to trust that this journey is bigger than us. You
absolutely.
know, everything that happened yesterday, it's for me, it's not just about my daughter and her getting into university. It's about my journey. She's shining a mirror. By her getting that acceptance yesterday, I got to see, oh my gosh, do we put up guardrails on our dreams? We got to have this conversation. I got to share the post. I found this person. Everything's connected in life. And when we can see that it's connected and that our only job is to share, and I truly believe
Mhm.
share with your friends, share with your family, share your feelings with your husband, share with your colleagues, your business partners. I don't know. You never know what might open
Yeah.
up. But in order to do that, to really be unconstrained, to serve your mission, to serve your purpose, it all starts with self worth, being in the frame of mind that what I have to say matters. Even if you don't get the likes or the comments, even if it looks like nobody's
Yeah.
watching, somebody gets value
Yeah.
from who you're being in the world. I truly, truly believe
Oh,
that.
absolutely. And I mean, it shows, like, in what we do, it shows. I get messages all the time. Just please keep posting. I love you put up. It's a bright light in my day. That's, you know what? That's what I do. I do it to help people see and shine that light back. Right? I
Yeah.
learned who I got to be through you. You brought that to my life. You brought that awareness to who do you get to be? Oh my God, I get to be whoever I choose to be. We give it to our children. We tell them they can be anything. Why are we holding ourselves back? Why do we put up the guardrails for ourselves? Why?
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm in this state of mind. I'm just a vessel. Like
Yeah.
this gift of sharing, of storytelling, of connecting, it's not mine. I didn't do something to get here. I really do believe that it's my purpose, my
Mhm.
passion. But I think we all have that purpose and passion,
Yeah.
and we all have that essence. We have our ego and we have the essence.
Mhm.
Our ego says, you can't do it. You shouldn't desire that. You shouldn't
Yep.
want that. What will people think? And our essence is screaming to come out and to say, yes, yes, share. Da, da, da. It's our ego is the thing that holds us back. Our essence is the one that says, keep going, keep
Yep.
moving forward, keep sharing, share your light, share your gift,
Yep.
whether it's art, storytelling, photography, cooking, being a good friend, being a great wife, being a great mother, whatever it is that you are put on this world to give to the world. I think of my friend Yolan. Okay, we went to Landmark together. We did a workshop together. She's on YouTube now. She's called her tagline is the practical housewife. I remember when her and her husband were in a little apartment. They're both from Jamaica. He was an engineer, just starting out. She was finding her way, doing this little juicing company. Now they live in this big ass mansion. They're building their own in house gym. She makes all this incredible food. She's sharing her life. And I said, I want to marry you. I said, I binge watch you like Netflix. I can't get enough of you. Whether she's making butter or a Philly cheesesteak or going to Walmart with her kids. I'm just like, I love your life. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so inspired. I'm learning from her. And it's just her sharing her life with the
Mhm.
world. I thought, how many people have cook like I would love to watch videos of cooking. I would love to watch, you know, I always thought this is so funny. When my kids were little, my husband and I used to think we should put a video camera up at the dinner table because our conversations were so hilarious with the kids. I thought
Oh,
this would be a great YouTube
yeah,
channel to
we
be
did
a
the same thing.
platform.
Oh my God, we did the same thing. It's so true. And I even still talk to my kids about that now. Like, we could be the poor Kardashians, you know?
But it's just so people care about
They
that.
do.
People care about
They
your
do.
life. They care about your celebrations. I
Yeah.
really truly do believe that.
Yeah.
Your people care
That's
about
right.
you.
That's right.
And that's all that
Yeah.
matters. So, and
Absolutely.
I think in the world of AI noise, people are really craving connection. And storytelling, sharing your stories, sharing your events,
Mhm.
people do care about that because it's missing.
It is
It's
missing.
missing in the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my story,
And
and I'm
I
sticking
love
to
it.
it.
And I do want to say this again too, like the the ability that we give our kids to be able to like, and we do, we give it you the world is your oyster. You can do anything. You get to do whatever you choose to do. And when we give that to them and they act and we see it happening, you get to share that, Tina. And I'm so happy when I saw the post because we had already talked. I saw the post and I'm like, just like it that is joy. Bring joy to other people. It's not a competition. Know your worth and stick to it and scream it from the rooftops. Know your worth.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. And on that note, we're going to let you go today. We have lots more coming up, and we will see you on the next episode. Please like and follow us. Bye, everyone. Well, friends, that is the end of our episode today. If you love this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And please share us with your friends and tag us on your socials at The Art of Being Unstoppable. So for today, have yourself a beautiful day and let's be unstoppable together. See you next time.